New at 6 o'clock, newly released court documents say the victim of last week's random chemical attack will have permanent disfigurement due to the severity of her burns.
The suspect, 29-year-old Sebastian Mahkwan, he appeared in court today and is due back on Wednesday. His bail is confirmed at $2 million. The victim, Danying Zhang, she was walking near Ala Moana Center when Mahkwan allegedly threw a liquid chemical on her. Zhang is from Beijing. She's an international exchange teacher at Maryknoll School. Police arrested Mahkwan on Thursday. The court documents say 2 officers were able to identify Mahkwan through the surveillance video from previous encounters. He faces attempted murder and assault charges.
And the case is attracting attention not just here in Hawaii, but around the world. Our Paul Drews reports on how this attack may affect travel to Hawaii from China.
There's been an outpouring of support for the victim of the acid attack, Danying Zhang, who received third-degree burns and life-threatening injuries. The Chinese Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii started up a GoFundMe to help her pay for her rising medical bills.
Initially, our goal was $5,000, and it's well over $100,000 now, and so it just shows how generous the community is here.
But the attack also generated negative publicity in China, which used to play an important part in Hawaii's tourism industry.
Prior to COVID, the visitors from China were actually a pretty substantial amount and contributed to quite a bit of the economy as far as tourism goes.
The number of visitors from China reached a peak in 2015 when more than 165,000 arrived in the islands. And they make an impact in the industry not just because of the number of arrivals, but how they spend. In 2022, Chinese visitors spent on average $341 a day, the highest of all visitors, well over spending by Japanese tourists and U.S. West Coast visitors. Spending levels are back up to where they were before the COVID pandemic, but visitor arrivals are not. In 2022, just under 14,000 Chinese visitors came to Hawaii, a far cry from the more than 90,000 in 2019. What's the reason visitor arrivals from China haven't rebounded? It may be getting here is harder than in the past.
There isn't a direct way to Hawaii from China, so we actually went through the Philippines to get to China, whereas in the past, like even Hawaiian had direct flights to several cities.
Young and the Chinese Chamber of Commerce of Hawaii took a trip last year to China to reestablish sister city relationships, while also sharing culture and trade opportunities, encouraging more tourists to visit, and also experts to share their knowledge by working here. That's what Zhang was doing before the acid attack. Young worries the crime could have a chilling effect not only on Hawaii's tourism industry, but also its educational exchange.
Kind of would hope that people look past it, but it's definitely a concern.
Paul Drews, Island News.